The stars stretched endlessly across the sky, a silent sea of light that seemed peaceful at first glance. But in the cold emptiness beyond the human colony of Aurora Station, something far from peaceful was moving. A massive alien armada, thousands of ships of dark metal and glowing energy approached the small colony. To the aliens, it was just another weak species to conquer, a civilization that would bend and beg for mercy once they understood the power of the invaders. On Aurora Station, life went on as usual. Children ran along the narrow streets, chasing one another under the warm artificial sun of the colony's dome. Farmers tended to crops in carefully regulated soil beds. Engineers monitored energy grids, and teachers guided students through lessons about the stars. The colony had always been at the edge of explored space, and while the people had learned to live with occasional dangers, they had never experienced anything like this. When the alien ships first appeared on the scanners, alarms rang out. The colony's command center buzzed with urgent messages. Officers hurried to the main console, eyes scanning the data. Everyone expected panic, but none of the humans panicked. Instead, they worked faster, more focused. Colonel Marcus Hale, leader of Aurora Station's defense forces, watched the fleet with steady eyes. He had faced threats before, though none like this. His hair was streaked with gray, his face lined with years of experience. "Keep calm," he ordered, his voice steady. "Let them come. Let them see what humans do when they are not afraid." Across the control room, Lieutenant Sofia Ramos frowned at the screens. "They're enormous. Their energy signatures are off the charts. They could wipe us out in minutes if they wanted." Marcus shook his head slowly. "They think fear is universal. They will be surprised." Meanwhile, the citizens of Aurora Station went about their day. In the marketplace, children laughed, completely unaware of the looming threat. Farmers argued lightly over the ripeness of their crops, and engineers fixed a minor leak in a power conduit. The aliens had expected humans to collapse at the sight of overwhelming force. Instead, humans were calm, unafraid, and curious. On one of the colony's observation decks, a group of scientists gathered, binoculars in hand. Dr. Lila Chen, the lead astrophysicist, studied the alien ships carefully. "Their formations are precise," she said. "They've never encountered resistance like ours before. They expect immediate submission." A young engineer, Mara Jensen, nodded. "Then they are in for a surprise." By now, the alien fleet had halted in orbit, thousands of ships hovering above the colony like dark clouds blocking the sun. A single ship detached from the main armada and descended slowly, its landing gear unfolding. The humans watched silently, their hands not on weapons but at their sides, ready yet composed. The alien delegation emerged. They were tall, with elongated limbs and shimmering exoskeletons that reflected the light. Their eyes glowed faintly, scanning the humans with what seemed to be both curiosity and contempt. The alien commander, Varlock, expected to see trembling, pleading creatures. Instead, he saw people standing tall, unflinching, even as his soldiers deployed intimidating weaponry. Varlock's voice echoed mechanically, transmitted through the colony's communication system. "Humans of Aurora Station, we are here to demand your surrender. Resistance is pointless. You will obey or face destruction." A hush fell over the colony. For a moment, it seemed that fear might finally break the humans' calm, but instead a single voice answered, clear and confident. "I'm listening," Mara said, stepping forward. Her brown eyes met the alien commander's glowing gaze without a trace of fear. "Why are you here?" The aliens were stunned. No one had ever spoken to them like this before. Varlock blinked, or at least the motion that resembled blinking for his species. "We expected submission, fear, panic. You are not behaving as your species should." Mara tilted her head. "Fear is not our first choice. Understanding comes first. If you tell us your purpose, we can respond appropriately." Varlock's glowing eyes narrowed. It was a new concept to him, a species that did not automatically submit to the threat of destruction. His soldiers murmured among themselves in clicks and hums. They had never encountered beings who did not immediately react to overwhelming force with terror. The humans, sensing the moment, remained calm. Marcus Hale stepped forward from the command center. "You will not intimidate us," he said firmly. "We are capable of defending ourselves. If your intention is war, we will respond. But if your intention is communication, then speak clearly and we will listen." The aliens hesitated. They had not anticipated this. Their simulations had predicted instant capitulation. Now, faced with the unshakable composure of humans, doubt crept into their ranks. On the streets, the citizens of Aurora Station gathered, observing the tense exchange. Children sat on parents' shoulders, curious but not scared. Farmers leaned against market stalls, eyes fixed on the descending delegation. Even the engineers paused, momentarily leaving their tools to witness history unfold. Mara, sensing an opportunity, spoke again. "We are not weak. We do not beg for mercy. We are prepared to defend our home, but we also value knowledge and understanding. Tell us your purpose and we can avoid unnecessary conflict." Varlock's voice, cold and mechanical, trembled slightly, a sign of uncertainty, though humans could not be sure. "Your courage is unexpected. Most species would already be begging for mercy. You defy our predictions." Marcus stepped closer. "Courage is natural for us. We do not live in fear. We face the unknown with resolve. You may find that strength is more powerful than your weapons." The alien delegation hesitated, scanning the colony. They saw drones repairing themselves without supervision, energy shields that flickered to life automatically, and humans coordinating complex tasks under pressure. The aliens had calculated that humans would be disorganized, panicked, and easy to manipulate. Instead, what they saw was efficiency, bravery, and unshakable focus. Varlock motioned to one of his lieutenants. "Observe their actions carefully. Record everything. This is unusual." Mara, noticing the alien attention, smiled slightly. "If you want to understand humans, come walk among us. See how we live, how we work, and how we protect what is ours. You may learn more than you expect." The aliens hesitated. Their commanders were proud, confident in their superiority, yet the humans' composure made them uneasy. No one had ever spoken so openly, so fearlessly to them. The humans were strange in ways that could not be simulated, unpredictable and bold. As the sun began to set over Aurora Station, painting the colony's dome in gold and orange, the humans continued their routines. Children still played, farmers still worked, and engineers still adjusted the power grids. The aliens watched in disbelief, realizing that intimidation alone would not work. Inside the command center, Marcus Hale stood tall. "They will learn," he said quietly to Sofia Ramos. "They will learn that humans do not surrender to fear. They may have power, but courage is something they cannot calculate or destroy." Sofia nodded slowly. "Do you think they understand that already?" Marcus shook his head. "Not yet, but they will. They always do." Meanwhile, the alien ships hovered silently in orbit, their delegation immobilized by something they could not fully comprehend. They had come to conquer a small colony, expecting easy victory. Instead, they were faced with humans who laughed at fear, who stood firm in the face of overwhelming power, and who welcomed understanding over panic. The first contact had begun, but the real test of courage, ingenuity, and humanity was only starting. The humans of Aurora Station had shown that even at the edge of the galaxy, even against impossible odds, their spirit remained unbroken. The stars above might be cold and indifferent, but the humans below burned with a light that no alien power could dim. And far above, the aliens realized a truth they had never considered. Fearlessness was not weakness. It was strength. The alien delegation stood in the center of Aurora Station's main plaza, their tall forms casting strange shadows on the clean, curved floors. Citizens gathered at a respectful distance, curious but calm. Unlike most species the aliens had encountered, the humans did not run, shout, or collapse. They simply watched. Their expressions were calm, their posture confident, their eyes steady. Mara Jensen stepped forward, her hands relaxed at her sides. Her brown eyes met the glowing gaze of the alien commander, Varlock. "You wanted contact," she said softly. "We are here. Ask your questions. Speak your purpose." Varlock's voice, mechanical and sharp, filled the plaza. "We demand obedience. Your species exists to serve the stronger. You will surrender or face destruction." Mara blinked once, as if considering the words. Then she smiled. "We are not here to serve. We are here to live, to grow, and to protect our home. If your purpose is understanding, you may stay and learn. If it is conquest, then you will discover quickly that we are not what you expected." The alien soldiers hissed in frustration. They had studied countless civilizations and crushed them all with ease. The humans' lack of fear was impossible to comprehend. Varlock, however, forced himself to maintain composure. "You misunderstand our power. Resistance is futile. You do not have the strength to oppose us. Mara's smile widened. Strength is more than numbers or weapons. It is courage, creativity, and the will to protect what matters. Perhaps we can demonstrate. From the plaza's edge, Marcus Hale stepped forward. His presence was calm but commanding. Commander Varlock, we will not fight unless forced. But we will defend ourselves. If you wish to understand humans, we invite you to observe how we live and work. You may find that your simulations do not match reality. Varlock's glowing eyes narrowed. Observe? You speak boldly for a species facing annihilation. This is unexpected. The humans had prepared for this moment for years. Aurora Station was small, but every structure, every system, every citizen had a role in defense. Engineers moved to visible positions near energy nodes. Drones buzzed quietly overhead, and shields shimmered along the edges of the plaza. None of this was a threat yet. It was demonstration, preparation, and a quiet warning. Mara gestured to one of the shield panels. See this? It is not magic. It is design. Every human here contributes to the safety of our home. We innovate constantly. We adapt. Varlock tilted his head. Adaptation is common in many species. Yet your confidence is unusual. Why do you not fear us? Marcus answered before Mara could. Fear does not guide us. Fear does not protect us. Humans survive because we face danger with thought and courage. You may have power, but courage is unpredictable. It cannot be simulated, measured, or fully understood. The aliens hesitated. Their doctrine had never prepared them for a species that could challenge not with brute force, but with calm, unshakable resolve. Then Mara spoke again. If you want a closer view, come with me. I will show you what we are capable of, not to fight, but to explain. You will see our ingenuity firsthand. Varlock considered for a long moment. Finally, he motioned to his lieutenants. Very well, observe, but do not underestimate them. Record everything. We must understand these humans before deciding. The delegation followed Mara through the colony, moving past streets, laboratories, and workshops. Citizens greeted the aliens with polite nods, some with brief smiles but no fear. The aliens noticed the humans' focus and coordination. Drones repaired themselves automatically. Energy conduits adjusted in real time to optimize power flow. Children attended lessons on science and mathematics, their curiosity shining through despite the looming threat above. Mara led the aliens to the engineering bay. Here, human creativity and innovation were most evident. Drones worked alongside humans, following instructions in complex patterns. Marcus demonstrated a small energy shield, activating it in milliseconds to deflect a heavy metal object. The aliens' own sensors recorded every detail. These systems are simple but effective, Marcus explained. They are designed to adapt to unexpected threats. We do not rely on raw power alone. We rely on thinking, improvisation, and teamwork. Varlock's eyes glowed brighter, a sign of agitation. He had expected humans to panic under such advanced displays of technology. Yet these beings remained calm. Even their children watched without alarm. A sudden alarm sounded in the plaza, a minor disturbance easily handled by a security drone. A scout alien ship had misread a drone's movement as aggression and fired a warning beam. The humans reacted instantly, not with fear but with strategy. Drones repositioned, energy shields adjusted, and within moments the beam was deflected harmlessly. The aliens watched, unable to hide surprise. Mara explained, "We do not attack without reason, but we adapt to threats immediately. Our actions are precise, controlled, and deliberate. Fear does not drive us, logic and courage do." Varlock's voice echoed through the plaza. "Your species is anomalous. How can you remain so calm in the presence of overwhelming force?" Marcus stepped forward. "Because we know that panic achieves nothing. We face danger with clarity, resolve, and cooperation. We do not surrender unless there is no choice. Even then we endure." The alien delegation murmured among themselves, clicking and humming in confusion. They had never recorded a species behaving in such a manner. In simulations, humans always reacted with fear. In reality, humans reacted with thought and bravery. Mara led them to the outer fields where energy shields created a protective dome over crops and structures. "See this?" she said. "It is not just a shield. It is a system we designed to work together. Engineers, drones, and human operators maintain it constantly. Every action contributes to the safety of our colony. This is how humans survive, even when threatened by greater power." The aliens watched silently. Varlock's glowing eyes flickered. perhaps a sign of thought or doubt. The humans' fearlessness was unsettling. They had expected to see chaos, begging, panic, but they saw order, courage, and unshakable focus. A young human boy, no older than 10, ran past the group, chasing a small repair drone. He waved at Mara and the aliens alike, smiling with innocent curiosity. The aliens, unused to such behavior in the face of threat, recoiled slightly. "Do they not understand the danger?" one lieutenant whispered. Varlock's gaze was sharp. "They do understand. That is why they do not fear. Fear is a tool we know, but they are immune to it. This is remarkable and dangerous." Mara turned to face the delegation one last time. "We are humans. We do not beg. We do not surrender easily. If you want to conquer us, know that you will face more than weapons. You will face courage, innovation, and the will to protect what we love." For the first time, Varlock hesitated. His species had conquered countless worlds, crushed countless civilizations. But humans were different. Their fearlessness was unpredictable, and unpredictability was a weapon the aliens had not accounted for. The delegation retreated to their ship, recording every detail. Back in orbit, the alien commanders debated. "We cannot break them with fear," one said. "Every simulation fails. They are impossible." Varlock responded quietly, though his glowing eyes shone brighter than ever. "Impossible or not, we must understand them. Observe, record, adapt. Humans are unlike any species we have known. Their courage is horrifying." Meanwhile, the citizens of Aurora Station resumed their routines. Children continued to play, engineers fixed minor issues, and farmers tended to their crops. The humans were calm, not because they were unaware of the threat, but because they were ready. They had faced danger before and would face it again, but always with courage and unity. As night fell over Aurora Station, the stars above were bright, indifferent, and infinite. Yet the humans below shone brighter with their spirit, their determination, and their courage. The aliens had come expecting fear and submission, but what they found instead was something far more formidable. Humans unbowed, fearless, and alive with resolve. This was only the beginning. The first contact had revealed much, but the real test of ingenuity, courage, and human spirit had yet to come. The aliens were learning quickly that humans were not like other species, and humanity, calm and confident, was ready to show them exactly what that meant. The alien delegation had returned to their mothership, but their presence still hung over Aurora Station like a shadow. Commander Varlock paced the command chamber, his elongated limbs moving with careful precision. His officers clicked and hummed quietly, exchanging reports that all painted the same unsettling picture. Humans were not afraid. They had expected chaos, pleading, and panic. Instead, they saw composure, unity, and clever problem-solving at every turn. "We cannot predict them," one lieutenant admitted, the glow in his eyes dimming slightly. "Simulations fail. They react unpredictably. They are anomalous." Varlock stopped pacing. "They are not anomalies. They are dangerous. We must understand their strength before we can decide our next move. Observe everything. Learn everything. Then we will act." Meanwhile, on Aurora Station, life continued as usual. Humans went about their work, but there was a sense of alertness beneath their calm. Engineers adjusted shields, farmers reinforced greenhouses, and children played with an awareness of the strange fleet above. Yet no one panicked. Courage was part of their nature, and fear was a luxury they could not afford. Mara Jensen walked through the plaza, her eyes meeting those of Varlock's delegation, still hovering near the colony. "You want to see human strength?" she asked softly. "Then watch how we live. Strength is not only weapons or shields. It is ingenuity, it is courage, and it is unity." She led the delegation toward the engineering bay. The humans had prepared for this demonstration not to threaten but to teach. Marcus Hale, standing nearby, nodded to her. "Show them," he said quietly. Inside the bay, humans worked alongside drones, repairing equipment and innovating solutions to daily problems. Mara demonstrated an energy shield that could expand automatically to protect a building from sudden impact. "It is simple," she explained. "But it works because humans think ahead, adapt quickly, and cooperate constantly. Strength is not only power, it is preparation and creativity." The aliens observed every detail, their sensors recording movements, energy outputs, and human interactions. They were fascinated and unsettled. Humans were cooperative, disciplined, and yet fearless. Their technology was clever but not intimidating in a traditional sense. What was intimidating was the humans themselves, their spirit, calm and intelligence. Varlock's voice, mechanical and sharp, broke the silence. Your species shows intelligence, yet intelligence without fear is dangerous. Why do you not panic? Mara smiled faintly. Because panic accomplishes nothing. Fear does not protect us. Courage and quick thinking do. We survive because we face challenges with clarity, determination, and teamwork. We do not rely solely on weapons or power. We rely on ourselves and each other. Varlock's glowing eyes narrowed. Your words are illogical. Every species we have encountered submits when faced with overwhelming power. Yet you do not. Explain this, Marcus Hale spoke then, his tone firm and calm. You will not understand fully, Commander. Humans are unpredictable because we face danger without surrendering to fear. Our decisions are guided by thought, courage, and loyalty. You may have power, but we have something your simulations cannot measure: willpower and ingenuity. The aliens hesitated. They had conquered countless civilizations, all of which succumbed to intimidation, fear, or psychological pressure. Humans were an anomaly, and anomalies were dangerous to their carefully calculated strategies. Mara led them further to a training ground where young humans practiced survival techniques. Children moved with precision, learning how to navigate dangerous situations safely. Drones moved alongside them, simulating obstacles and emergencies. This is not play, Mara explained. This is preparation. Every human here learns to think, act, and protect others. Fear is not eliminated, but it is understood and controlled. Courage is taught, practiced, and valued above all. One of Varlock's lieutenants hissed softly. Even the young display composure. They are not scared? Mara shook her head. No. They respect danger, but they do not surrender to it. You may have power over matter, Commander, but you do not have power over their spirit. The aliens continued observing, recording data on human tactics, movement, and coordination. Every step of the way, humans displayed creativity and collaboration. Energy shields adjusted in real time. Drones repaired themselves, and engineers anticipated problems before they arose. The aliens had never encountered a species capable of such organized, intelligent, and fearless response. Suddenly, a minor incident occurred. A small energy fluctuation in one of the colony's power cores. Normally this would trigger alarm, but humans reacted instantly and efficiently. Engineers coordinated with drones to repair the issue within minutes, while Marcus Hale oversaw the operation calmly. The aliens watched, stunned. Varlock's voice was tight with tension. They treat danger as a challenge, not a threat. Why do they not panic? Mara responded calmly. Because humans believe that every problem has a solution. Fear slows thinking. Courage accelerates it. We do not pretend we are invincible. We act, we adapt, and we endure. That is our strength. The delegation recorded every detail, but even their advanced technology could not fully quantify human courage. Observing humans in action was nothing like simulations or calculations. Humans were not predictable. Humans were alive in ways that defied analysis. Later, Mara took the aliens to the colony's medical bay, where doctors treated injured animals and performed routine checkups. Humans worked quietly, efficiently, and compassionately. Strength is not only survival, Mara explained. It is care, empathy, and dedication. Humans protect life because life is valuable. That is also courage. Varlock's eyes flickered, a signal of internal conflict. He had never considered that strength could come from kindness. Power was measured in energy, weapons, or numbers, not empathy. Yet humans combined all of these with unwavering courage. The aliens moved next to a simulation room, where humans trained for extreme situations. They watched teams coordinate, solve complex problems, and remain calm under simulated disasters. Every human acted with focus and precision. Even in the face of failure or surprise, no one panicked. This is remarkable, one lieutenant admitted. They are efficient, fearless, and resourceful. They do not react as expected. They are dangerous, Mara smiled faintly. Dangerous, perhaps. But that danger comes from resolve, not recklessness. We do not act without thought. We act with courage, strategy, and purpose. You may have assumed fear would make us weak, but it has only made us strong. As the demonstration ended, the aliens returned to their ship, recording their observations in silence. Varlock remained thoughtful, his glowing eyes dimming slightly as he considered what he had seen. For the first time in his long career, he encountered a species that could not be intimidated. Inside Aurora Station, the humans continued their daily routines. Children laughed, engineers repaired systems, farmers tended crops, and Marcus Hale stood quietly, watching the sky. He knew the aliens were learning quickly, but he also knew that humans were ready for whatever came next. Courage, he thought, was not just about facing danger. It was about inspiring others, about standing firm when others expected submission. Mara approached him, her eyes bright. "They are watching," she said, "but they do not understand us yet. Not fully. We have shown them our courage, but the real lesson has just begun." Marcus nodded. "Then we continue to live as humans do, calm, focused, and unafraid. That is all they need to see." That night, Aurora Station was quiet but alive. The stars above twinkled, indifferent and distant. But humans shone below, not with energy or weapons, but with spirit, courage, and the unshakable will to endure. Varlock and his officers watched from orbit, troubled by what they could not fully grasp. Humans were unlike any species they had conquered. They were fearless, resourceful, and intelligent. They were alive in ways that no weapon could destroy and no simulation could predict, and far below the humans slept, laughed, worked, and lived as they always had. They were not afraid, and they would not be. The aliens had come to conquer, but the humans had already shown them a lesson. Fearlessness was a power in itself, and courage could challenge even the most advanced force in the galaxy. The first day of contact had ended, but the story was only beginning. Humans had proven their resilience, their intelligence, and their indomitable spirit, and the aliens, for all their advanced technology, could not yet comprehend the full measure of humanity's strength. The lesson had begun, and humanity would continue to teach it, one fearless step at a time. Back aboard the alien mothership, Commander Varlock stood in the central observation chamber gazing down at Aurora Station. His elongated limbs rested against the sleek railings as his glowing eyes scanned the colony below. Unlike any species the aliens had encountered, the humans of Aurora Station remained calm and composed. Their fearlessness was not reckless. It was deliberate, controlled, and unnerving. Lieutenant Cavor, one of Varlock's senior officers, clicked softly. "Commander, our reports confirm what we observed yesterday. Humans continue their routines without hesitation. Children play, engineers work, and the colony operates efficiently despite our presence. They do not panic. They do not beg. They are impossible." Varlock's eyes flickered with faint light. "Impossible, yes, but more dangerous than we anticipated. Every action we take is met with focus and determination, not fear. Fear is a tool we rely on, yet they are immune to it." Below, life at Aurora Station continued seamlessly. Humans moved with purpose, their daily routines uninterrupted by the alien fleet looming above. Engineers monitored energy grids, farmers worked in greenhouses, and teachers led lessons with quiet assurance. Even the smallest citizen, a child no more than 10 years old, moved through the streets without hesitation, observing the alien ships with curiosity rather than terror. Mara Jensen walked through the plaza, guiding a small group of alien delegates who had chosen to continue their observation. "Strength is not only measured by weapons or power," she said calmly. "It is measured by the courage to act when facing danger, the ingenuity to solve problems, and the unity to protect what matters. Humans possess all three." One of the alien delegates tilted its head, a motion that seemed like confusion. "You speak of strength without fear. How is that possible?" Mara smiled faintly. "Because fear alone does not protect us. Fear can paralyze, but courage can inspire. When humans face danger, we focus, we cooperate, and we adapt. That is how we endure." Marcus Hale approached from the plaza edge, his presence commanding yet relaxed. "Commander Varlock," he said firmly, "you may have expected fear. You may have expected chaos. But we are humans. Fear does not define us. Courage does." Varlock's sensors recorded every word, but his officers clicked in quiet debate. They had never seen a species behave this way. Their previous conquest had relied on intimidation and fear. All species crumbled, all civilizations submitted, but humans were different. Humans were unpredictable. Humans were fearless. To test their response further, the aliens orchestrated a minor challenge. A small scout ship hovered close to the colony, sending pulses of energy meant to intimidate. Humans noticed immediately, but they did not panic. Engineers adjusted shields. Drones moved to strategic positions, and Marcus Hale oversaw the operation with calm authority. Within minutes, the pulses were harmlessly absorbed or deflected. Mara explained to the observing aliens, "We do not act recklessly. Every response is deliberate. Every move is coordinated. Courage is not the absence of caution. It is the mastery of it." Varlock's glowing eyes narrowed. "Your species is illogical. Fear is instinctual, yet you control it effortlessly. Why?" Marcus replied, "Because humans choose courage over fear. We understand the danger, but we do not let it rule us. Fear slows thinking. Courage enables action. That is our power." The alien delegates continued observing, noting the humans' resilience and ingenuity. Children carried out simulated drills, adults repaired critical systems, and drones maintained the colony's infrastructure. Every action was purposeful, coordinated, and fearless. The aliens realized that no simulation, no calculation could fully predict human behavior. Humans were alive in ways that defied their logic. Varlock returned to his command console, reviewing data collected over the past 2 days. "We underestimated them," he admitted. "Every prediction we made failed. Fear cannot control them. Intimidation cannot bend them. They are not weak and they are not predictable." Lieutenant Cavor clicked in acknowledgement. "Their resilience spreads beyond this colony. Sensors report similar behavior in other human settlements. Fearlessness is not unique to Aurora Station. It is universal. Humans everywhere demonstrate the same traits." Varlock's gaze darkened. "Then our assumptions about conquest are flawed. We cannot treat humans like other species. They are dangerous, not because of weapons or technology, but because of spirit, unity, and courage." Meanwhile, on the colony, Mara guided the aliens to the educational center. Teachers led students through lessons in science, mathematics, and strategy. Children collaborated on projects that required problem-solving and innovation. Even the youngest students were taught resilience and cooperation. "This is not just learning," Mara explained. "This is preparation. Every human here develops courage, intelligence, and teamwork. We face challenges not by succumbing to fear, but by thinking, acting, and enduring. That is what makes humans formidable." The alien delegates observed quietly, recording every detail. They had never encountered a species that combined intelligence, creativity, and fearlessness so effectively. They had expected submission. Instead, they saw discipline, courage, and unshakable spirit. In the central plaza, Marcus Hale addressed the humans assembled. "We live our lives not in fear of what is above, but in confidence of what we can achieve together. Remember, our strength is not only in weapons or shields, but in courage, ingenuity, and unity. That is what makes us human." As night fell, the stars above Aurora Station twinkled silently. Humans continued their routines, unconcerned by the alien fleet above. Engineers checked energy grids, farmers adjusted water systems, and children completed their evening lessons. Life went on, calm and purposeful. Varlock and his delegation watched from orbit, troubled by what they could not understand. Humans were unlike any species they had encountered. They were fearless, resourceful, and intelligent. They were alive in ways that no weapon could destroy and no calculation could predict. To test their adaptability further, the aliens initiated a controlled simulation of potential threats within the colony's perimeter. Holographic obstacles, minor energy surges, and small-scale environmental challenges appeared suddenly. Humans responded immediately. Drones moved into position, energy shields adjusted, and teams coordinated seamlessly. No panic, no hesitation, only calculated, fearless action. Mara explained to the observing aliens, "Challenges are inevitable. Fear slows us down. Courage allows us to act. Every human here understands that. That is our advantage. That is our power." Varlock's glowing eyes reflected a mixture of frustration and awe. He had conquered countless worlds, but never had he faced a species that could meet challenge without fear. Humans did not panic. They did not beg, and they did not surrender. Their resilience was absolute. Lieutenant Cavor whispered softly, "Commander, these humans are changing the way we see power. Strength alone is meaningless if courage is absent. They redefine the battlefield without even raising weapons." Varlock remained silent for a moment, staring down at the glowing dome of Aurora Station. "They are remarkable," he admitted quietly. "They are fearless, and that fearlessness is their greatest weapon. We cannot intimidate them. We cannot predict them. We cannot destroy their spirit." Back in the colony, Mara and Marcus walked together through the quiet streets. They are learning, Mara said, but not in the way we feared. They are learning about courage, unity, and determination, not just about our defenses. Marcus nodded. And that is enough. Let them watch. Let them learn. Humans do not bend to fear. That is a lesson no alien fleet can ignore. As the night deepened, Aurora Station glowed softly under the artificial stars. Citizens moved calmly through their routines. Children played quietly, and the hum of drones filled the air. Humans were alive, courageous, and unshakable. The aliens above had come expecting fear and submission, but instead they found strength, courage, and unbreakable resolve. Varlock returned to his observation deck one final time before rest. "Humans," he said quietly, "you are unlike any species we have known. Your courage is terrifying. Your spirit is indestructible. We have underestimated you, and that mistake may cost us far more than we realize." And far below, humans continued to live as they always had, fearless, calm, united, and ready for whatever the future might bring. The aliens had learned a lesson they could not have anticipated. Fearlessness was not weakness, it was strength. The first encounter had ended, but the human spirit had already left an indelible mark. The aliens would never see fear in the same way again, for humans had shown that courage could challenge even the greatest of powers. The alien mothership hung silently above Aurora Station, its dark hull reflecting the cold light of distant stars. Inside, Commander Varlock and his officers reviewed the data collected over several days. Every report told the same story. Humans were not afraid. They did not panic. They did not beg. They were calm, clever, and courageous, qualities the aliens had never encountered on any world they had conquered. Lieutenant Cavor clicked softly, a sign of unease. "Commander, our attempts to intimidate them have failed. Every action we have taken has been met with clever resistance. They adapt quickly, anticipate problems, and act with precision. Fear is ineffective." Varlock's glowing eyes narrowed. "We must reconsider our approach. Their strength is not in weapons or numbers, it is in ingenuity, courage, and unity. We cannot break them by force. We must understand them or risk failure." Below, Aurora Station thrummed with life. Humans moved through the colony with purpose. Engineers adjusted energy grids to improve efficiency. Drones repaired minor damages without supervision. Children practiced drills, learning to respond calmly to emergencies. Even in the presence of the alien fleet, humans were steady, alert, and unafraid. Mara Jensen walked through the central plaza, observing the humans as they worked together seamlessly. "They are watching," she said to Marcus Hale. "They think power alone can control us, but they do not understand courage." Marcus nodded. "Let them see what humans can do. Not through violence, but through action, unity, and intelligence. That will be our message." The aliens decided to test the humans further. A small squadron of drones was sent to simulate a localized strike on the colony's perimeter. It was designed to intimidate, disrupt, and provoke fear. Humans noticed the approach immediately, but they did not panic. Engineers activated additional shields, repositioned drones strategically, and coordinated defenses. Within moments, the threat was neutralized without casualties or panic. Mara explained to the observing alien delegates, "We do not fight recklessly. Every response is calculated. Every action is deliberate. Courage is not the absence of caution, it is mastery of it. We act with thought, not fear." Varlock observed the simulation in silence. His glowing eyes flickered, a sign of internal conflict. He had expected humans to falter, to collapse under pressure. Instead, they had adapted instantly, demonstrating ingenuity and composure beyond the predictions of any simulation. Cavor hissed softly, "Commander, their reaction is unlike anything we have seen. They are not predictable. They are formidable. Fear cannot control them. Intimidation fails. And yet they are not aggressive. They are patient, calculating, and brave." Varlock's gaze darkened. "Then we face a dilemma. We cannot conquer them with conventional methods. We cannot rely on intimidation. Their courage and ingenuity make them unpredictable. If we persist with force alone, we risk failure." Meanwhile, on the colony, humans continued preparations for potential conflict. They reinforced shields, upgraded defense systems, and trained in coordination. Yet life went on. Children played, teachers taught, and farmers tended crops. Courage was embedded in daily life, not just in response to threats. Mara led the alien delegates to the engineering bay. where humans worked alongside drones to innovate solutions to daily challenges. "See how we think and act?" she asked. "Strength is not only weapons. Strength is preparation, ingenuity, and teamwork. Fear does not control us. Courage guides us." The aliens recorded every detail, noting the humans' adaptability, focus, and composure. Varlock's glowing eyes narrowed. They do not react as expected. They anticipate, adapt, and overcome. This is remarkable and dangerous. To further test the humans, the aliens created a complex simulation. Multiple energy surges, unexpected environmental obstacles, and rapid changes to infrastructure. The humans responded instantly. Drones moved into new positions, shields adjusted automatically, and teams coordinated to maintain stability. Not a single human panicked. Not a single system failed. Marcus Hale addressed the humans during the simulation. "Remember, courage is not the absence of danger. It is the choice to act in spite of it. Every challenge we face strengthens us, sharpens our skills, and unites us. That is what makes humans formidable." Mara added, "We do not surrender to fear. We adapt, we endure. That is our power, and that is what the aliens must understand." Varlock's officers whispered among themselves, "Commander, these humans redefine strength. They are not only fearless, they are intelligent, adaptive, and united. No weapon, no technology, no strategy can fully predict their response." Varlock nodded slowly. "We underestimated them. Our simulations failed. Our intimidation failed. They are more powerful than we realized. Not in energy, but in spirit." The aliens debated strategy. Some argued for retreat, fearing prolonged engagement with a species that could not be intimidated. Others suggested diplomacy, recognizing that humans might respond better to understanding than to force. Varlock considered both options carefully. Meanwhile, on the colony, humans continued daily life with quiet determination. Engineers repaired systems, children practiced survival drills, and citizens collaborated seamlessly. The aliens watched, confused and uneasy, realizing that humans' courage was not reckless, it was deliberate, intelligent, and inspiring. Mara turned to Marcus. "They are learning faster than we expected. Not about our technology, but about our spirit. They may never conquer fear, but they can witness it." Marcus smiled faintly. "And that is enough. Humans do not need to prove themselves through fear. Courage speaks for itself." The aliens decided to escalate their challenge one final time. A small strike force descended on the colony, designed to test human defenses under pressure. Humans responded immediately. Shields expanded automatically, drones repositioned, and teams coordinated to neutralize threats without panic. Every move was deliberate, precise, and fearless. Varlock observed silently. "They are extraordinary," he admitted quietly. "Not because of weapons or numbers, but because of courage, intelligence, and unity. We cannot predict them. We cannot intimidate them. They are humans." Kavor clicked softly. "Commander, their resilience spreads beyond Aurora Station. Sensors report similar behavior in other human colonies. Fearlessness is not isolated. It is universal." Varlock's eyes dimmed slightly as he considered the implications. "Then our assumptions about conquest are flawed. Humans cannot be broken by intimidation. They cannot be predicted. Their courage is their greatest weapon, and it is one we cannot destroy." Back on the colony, Mara and Marcus walked through the streets, observing citizens at work. "They are watching," Mara said. "But they do not understand us yet. Not fully. They think power alone can control us, but it cannot. Fearlessness is stronger than any weapon." Marcus nodded. "Let them see. Let them learn. Humans do not bend to fear. That is the lesson they will carry whether they wish to or not." As night fell, Aurora Station glowed softly under the stars. Life continued calm and purposeful. Engineers checked systems, farmers adjusted water distribution, and children completed their lessons. The humans were alive, courageous and unshakable. Varlock returned to his observation deck, quietly reflecting on the events of the day. "Humans," he said softly, "you are unlike any species we have known. Your courage is terrifying. Your spirit is indestructible. We have underestimated you, and that mistake may cost us far more than we realize." Below, humans continued to live as they always had, fearless, calm, united, and ready for whatever the future might bring. They had turned the tide without firing a single weapon, without seeking revenge, without giving in to panic. Courage and ingenuity had become their strongest tools. and the aliens were beginning to understand that no technology could match the human spirit. The first phase of engagement had ended, but the story was far from over. Humans had proven their ingenuity, resilience, and fearlessness, and the aliens, for all their advanced technology and overwhelming power, had learned a truth they could not ignore. Humans do not surrender to fear, and their spirit cannot be destroyed.